after doing some research, what I found was that it was cheaper to fly from London to Rome. And then, again, doing some research, found out that there was an overnight train that you could take from Rome to Paris. Then the next most important thing, at least to me, was hotels and lodging. So I knew that I wanted us to stay in some place that was safe and some place that was nice. So I did a lot of research for
I believe it.
For this part.
Hey Wealth Builders, it's Akeiva
And Meshack.
and welcome back to The Bemused, where we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like us.
The next thing was activities, because we're going on this trip, and although the end goal was to propose, you know, we got to do stuff while we're there. So for the first day that we were in London, for the one activity that we actually paid for that day, which was going up in the Coca-Cola London Eye, I purchased that through Viator. And I heard about Viator through my cousin Courtney, who said that he used that when they went for their honeymoon when they got married. And Viator was also a company that was had the same cashback opportunities through Rakuten. So each day it was a little bit different. The cashback fluctuated. So on the London Eye experience that we did that first day, I was able to get back 3% cashback on that activity. So that was great, like I said, plus because Viator is coded for the Chase Sapphire Reserve as travel, I was able to get 3 times miles for those transactions. So I was, like she said, racking up points. On day 2, we did an all-day trip, again through Viator. After we got back from that long tour, we got like maybe 2 hours of sleep. We packed up our bags. We checked out of our hotel like 1 in the morning, took an Uber from the hotel to the bus station, got on a bus that took us from central London to the airport that we were flying from, which was over an hour away.
Yeah, because we came in through Heathrow, but then to get to Rome, we flew out of Stansted Airport, which is a different airport.
Which was like out of the way.
Yeah.
But we were able to get that on National Express. For the both of us, we paid like under $30 for the one-way trip bus ride. So we got to the airport and we went to the lounge. I showed them the Priority Pass card that I have through the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and we were able to get into the lounge and eat breakfast. All you can eat, no additional cost to us. I went from the lounge and went and got on our flight, Ryanair, which is basically like Europe's version of Spirit. So it was pretty cheap. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any cash back through Rakuten, but because it was a travel transaction, I did get the 3 times points on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So at least I got, you know, a decent value for that purchase as well. Zipped over to Rome, and that's where we had our big bus experience for the first time. We got to that airport. The code was CIA or something, which I thought was really weird. That's why I remember it. Thankfully, before I left, before we went on the trip, something told me, you know, look into if there's a bus that's going from the airport to central Rome, and there was, which was a lot cheaper than what an Uber was going to cost. So I was able to purchase those tickets literally about a week before the trip, and it wasn't that expensive. It was under like $20 for the both of us. And we were able to get on that bus, and the bus left every like 20 minutes, they said, or every
something
15
like that,
minutes.
yeah.
So as we got off the plane and went through Border Patrol, whatever you want to call it, there was literally a bus right there. We went up to the counter and I was like, hey, we have tickets for 11, but our flight got in at like just after 9. So by the time we got through all of that, it was a little after 10. And the lady was like, yeah, there's a bus outside. So we ran, got on that bus, and we got to central Rome in pretty much about an hour. After we got to central Rome,
That's where we got the big bus.
That's where we got the big bus. So I was able to purchase the big bus tickets through Viator as well. So I didn't get 3% cash back for that transaction because I waited a few days after, so the cashback opportunity had slightly decreased, so it was giving 2.5% cash back. So still not too bad. I got 2.5% cash back from Rakuten, and then my 3 points for travel, because like I mentioned, Viator was coded as travel with the CSR. We took the Rome hop on, hop
We
off
basically
bus
just stayed
everywhere.
on the hop on,
Like
off bus.
initially
literally all
in
day.
my plan, I was going to be taking Ubers everywhere to save time. But once we got there, and stupid me, like I did not really realize that everywhere that we wanted to go was on the bus route. When we got there, Akeiva noticed it, and she was like, you know, why are we going to take an Uber when we can just take the bus around and around and around?
Yeah.
So we did that, and it ended up saving us some money that way. And we just enjoyed the day in Rome. On the whole, though, Rome was our favorite place. I loved it. Loved being there. I loved the cobblestone streets. Like it was
the
nice.
whole vibe.
It was
just historic
amazing.
preservation. I just liked it. And the pasta.
So after that day was pretty much coming to a close, we hopped on the hop on, hop off bus again and went to Roma Termini, let me say it properly with the accent, and we got on our overnight train. And we were actually getting on 2 trains. So one train was taking us from Rome to Milan, and then we were getting on an overnight train in Milan that took us from Milan to Paris. So that was the plan. And the overnight train actually had beds and all of that, so I thought that it was going to be a really nice experience. Again, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that through Viator, so I didn't get any extra cashback opportunities through there, but I did get the 3 times miles for that transaction. But unfortunately, in our travels, something happened. They said some sort of emergency or accident on the tracks, and our train was delayed by 6 hours. So we were stuck in Dijon.
Yeah.
For 6 hours.
So we were basically in Paris for 3 days because one day was kind of wasted sitting in the train station in Dijon. So we didn't even get any mustard.
Yeah. So we were on the train pretty much all day. But what I will say is that the train company, at least they were kind of sort of thinking of their passengers. Maybe an hour or so later, they came on with a little
water and food,
with a little box
snacks,
with some snacks in there. And then they did also offer 50% back for the tickets because of the whole incident. So that's also a plus. Although we didn't get the 5%, we did get money. We're gonna get money back because I'm gonna get half back for both of our tickets.
And thankfully, we were the only 2 people in our car. The cars can hold up to 6 people, which would have been a totally different experience if there was 6 people in that car. Like, I would have been mad. So at least it was just us. We could just, be to ourselves, lock our door, and, just chill out.
I'll admit that was on me. I should have done a little bit more research and looking into that and springing for the cart that it was just the 2 of us in there. But I honestly just didn't know.
I mean, it worked out.
But it worked out well.
The only con was the bathrooms because there were no showers on board. So it was just toilets, and the toilets were not good.
Yeah. Especially when we were there for 6 hours, like everyone's up and awake because when we left, it was nighttime. When we got stuck and we woke up, it was morning. So everyone's up and about. So everyone's using the restrooms now. So it started to get a lot dirtier, a lot faster.
And the station bathrooms you had to pay for. So of course nobody was trying to do that.
We got off the train, but we didn't know that you had to pay. And that's something else to add, which I'll probably mention at the end of the video. But I can say it now, is I did not exchange any currency when we were in Europe. Plastic. I used my card every single place. And we were able to do that and not really have to worry about any of the issues of getting robbed or anything like that, because I did have some cash, but it wasn't a lot. And everything was in US currency, so no one would have probably wanted it anyways. So we couldn't use the bathroom because we didn't have any euros to pay for it with. The next day was Disneyland Paris. So I was able to get our tickets for Disneyland Paris, again through, you guessed it, Viator. So I got back, I think the cashback opportunity had changed again at that point, so I think I got 2% cash back for that. But again, because Viator coded as travel, got the 3 times miles for that travel transaction. And I got it for way cheaper than at the door. At the door, they were charging
like double.
Like 107 euros at the door. At the hotel that we were at, they were charging 60 euros. Which included the Fast Pass, which I think that was the only thing that I saw that was better than Viator. Because although I had the voucher for the tickets, I paid about the same, but we didn't have Fast Pass. But I think we were there pretty much all day.
Yeah.
And it was raining, so we didn't miss the Fast Pass. We just used the Disneyland app to
Just went
see
to
all the
whichever
ride
one had the
times,
least lines,
and we
yeah.
were very strategic. Like, okay, this ride is a 5-minute wait, and we went there, and so on and so forth. And that was, like I said, all day. For Versailles Palace,
oh no, did we get those?
We
direct?
didn't get the tickets through
We got those
Viator.
direct, yeah.
We got them direct because my fault again, I left Paris open-ended because I didn't know what she wanted to do, if she wanted to do other sites, because I can be a bit of a task master where it's like, you know, bang, 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 bang. So I wanted to give us some leeway where if she wanted to do something else, whether it be shopping or whatever, that we could have done that.
By this point, I had gotten used to him being the taskmaster, so.
We didn't know what we were going to do, but we decided on Versailles Palace. And because we waited so long, I wasn't able to get the tickets through Viator. And the ones that I was finding through Viator, the tickets were like ridiculously priced, where I was like, I'm not paying that. So we bought them directly through, and we didn't get the skip the line tickets.
Sad mistake.
Yeah, that line was so long, but they kept it moving. We were able to get in just under an hour. And we spent at Versailles Palace, we were there for like almost 4 hours.
The place is huge.
It was massive.
Like, so when we thought it was over, it was not over.
Yeah.
Like, it was just acres and acres of beautiful landscape.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
And ridiculous embellishments.
Then for our last day in Paris, we went to the Louvre.
Yep.
But for the Louvre, we're able to purchase those tickets through Viator because we purchased all of those tickets for the Eiffel Tower, Versailles Palace, and the Louvre all on the same night. So because it was at least a day before, I was able to snag some tickets for the Louvre. So I was able to get some cash back for that. And that was pretty much our 8-day trip. It was amazing. And like I said,
such a good job.
We stayed on budget, which was the best part for both of us. And we made it back in one piece, thankfully, like no major delays, no flight delays or anything like that. And I
didn't feel deprived at all. Literally, anytime I needed something, it was like, hey, can I get this food?
And
it was
that
always
was,
like,
that was something
I never
else.
felt deprived.
Like, because the ring was like in budget and taken care of, the major items were taken care of, the activities and everything else. Like she said, there was no stress.
I was always the one that was like, am I spending too much on food? Like, are we okay?
Yeah. Like, it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, and I need to mention that because that's kind of the whole point of this video. How we stayed on budget. She didn't know what the budget was at all because I didn't want to give her any inclination for her to figure out how much anything cost. So what I use is actually an app that Akeiva covered like extensively before called Good Budget. And although I can't stand the app because it's very difficult.
That's something we're gonna have to work out before we get married because the way we manage our transactions and finances is so different. We're gonna have to figure that out.
It was so difficult to manage the app, but I was able to figure it out. Basically what I did was I loaded in how much money I wanted to spend on the trip, and because I know myself, if I had actually put in the actual figure, we would have probably surpassed it. So I put in a few $100s less, and each day as the card was swiped and I got the notification on my cell phone, I keyed in that amount in the respective category. So I had 3 categories: activities, food, and travel. And for each of those categories, I had dollar amounts associated to them that were in those envelopes, as Good Budget refers to them as. And each time we swiped the card, I just deducted that respective envelope by the amount that we spent to keep a better total of how much we were spending and to keep us on budget. And although I can't stand the app because it's a little too complicated for me to use, like now I'm getting the hang of it. It was really instrumental in helping us stay on budget. And an added bonus to this, which Akeiva had no idea about, so I'm kind of waiting to see what her face is. In our wedding budget that we kind of had before, we were trying to figure out, again, based off of what we wanted to do, we were going to need a little bit more money and we were going to try and push ourselves to save a little bit more. And I can say right now, based on like the rough analysis that I was doing, that I'm actually going to have a few more dollars to actually put towards the wedding budget.
Yay!
From the $10,000. So we were able to, like I said again, get the wedding band, the engagement ring, take an 8-day trip with flight, round trip travel, hotels and everything, and food, all of that activities, and still of that $10,000 budget, still able to put aside some money to put towards the wedding budget that we already have, plus all of that cash back Also, like, I already got a check from Rakuten already, which I'm mentioning now. I got a check already for $57 that went into the savings account that I have for the wedding budget that I haven't touched. And I have another check that I'm expecting next month, which all of, like I mentioned, the hotel stuff that's going to post afterwards, I'm going to be getting that back as well in November, and all of that's also going to be going. Plus we have some money coming back from the trip that I mentioned earlier on the train. They're giving us back 50% of our expenses.
Plus all of our rewards for credit
Plus,
cards.
I'm not done. Plus in Europe, in Paris, they calculate the taxes into everything. We're going to be getting back 12% of the taxes that we paid for the Louis Vuitton bag, because
that was like a couple $100,
which is a couple $100.
Yeah.
So we're also getting that back as well. Plus, like she said, all the points that we have on our credit cards, we also have all of that from this entire trip. So I think we did like really well.
We're in good shape.
I can't give the exact number right now because I haven't plugged everything in yet. And I don't want to get too hasty, but honestly, I think like it's somewhere like close to 3,000.
Wow. Man of the year here. I think I got myself a good one, guys.
I think that this was really important because a lot of people are you guys are really going to want to know like how I was able to do this, and it kind of brings the whole $10,000 engagement wedding ring budget full circle. Like, yes, that was the budget, but I didn't spend all of that on the ring, and I was able to get a trip as well out of it.
Yeah.
And still get some money back.
Yeah, so we'll definitely link below to all the resources you mentioned, Rakuten, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, all the things we use to be able to like, you know,
yep,
make
I'll
this trip
put
happen.
all of the links to all of the activities that we did down in the bottom if you're interested in
Viator,
looking
just all the
to them on
companies.
Viator. There's an incentive for Rakuten, the referral program, so I'm going to put my link down below for you guys to be able to take advantage of that. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss when we post content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.